Well, Insider's closed, and people are going kind of crazy about it. YouTube videos popping up, little sub-forums for all the former insiders to go to, whatnot. A lot of blame is being placed on Noah Andy. Big surprise, he kind of has the unofficial position of head Noah, or head admin, or whatever you want to call him, so naturally he gets scapegoated, and all the blame goes to him, even though he's really just kind of speaking for the decisions of all the Noahs. He's just the messenger, and naturally, we are shooting the messenger. Is that so wrong to shoot the guy who announces that we're losing such a great board? Well, most of you would probably say, yes, it is wrong. I mean, he's just the messenger, and shooting the messenger is generally frowned upon. But what you fail to realize, if you're supporting him, that is, what you probably fail to realize is just how badly the Noahs have screwed up in the past. This is coming from a member who may not have been on the first original Hyrule Town Square thing that predated Insider, but I joined in 2004 and I was around for quite a while. I saw a lot of things that the Noahs did, none of which were terribly brilliant, and I'd like to explain a few of them for those of you who didn't see it. There used to be a board for role-playing. It was called Power On RP, RP of course standing for role-playing, Power On being the main discussion board, so it was like a sub-board thing. It was the second most popular board by far. It had, well, it was the second most active. It had just about everybody went there at some point. There were a lot of active role players. It was almost its own separate community. And then they closed it. I'm not sure why. They made up some kind of excuse. Basically, they were just saying it had turned into a complete chat thread, one big chat thread, which is, of course, utterly untrue and is the kind of thing only someone who has absolutely no interest or understanding of role-playing would say. I mean, yes, I suppose you are technically just talking to each other, but it's got stories and stuff, so it's a bit more complicated to that. Your average discussion is more like just talking to each other. And of course, the other reason is that it had supposedly become too difficult to moderate and it turned into a spam haven and whatnot. This, of course, is bullshit. It used to have its own local moderator, and it was good, but then they got rid of him, or he retired or whatever, and they refused to replace him, and it sucked after that. So, here's their logic. This board was good with its own local mod, we got rid of it, and it became bad, therefore, instead of replacing a local mod, we should get rid of the entire thing, despite how popular it is. Right, that makes a lot of sense. I could go on, but I think I may have discussed that a little bit too much at this point. This is probably because I spent a lot of time there too, I kind of have a grudge. Anyway, next big thing they did, Power On, the main discussion thread, used to have not one, but two chat threads, with members could just come in and talk about nothing. Now, admittedly, this does lean towards, if not outright fall under the category of, spam. But, show me one major popular forum that doesn't have a place where people can just talk to each other. I mean, isn't that the whole point of a community, to be able to talk? And if you don't have a place where things can discuss and become a little bit off topic, then it kind of gets boring after a while. You have nothing else to talk about except for their specific, rigidly defined systems and games. You can only talk about this one thing in this one place, and nothing can be off topic. It must be always Nintendo related. No, you can't do that for a community. It doesn't work. It's supposed to be freeform and all that, but if you do that, you don't really have a community. It's just forced discussion about specific topics, and if you outlaw people from talking about nothing by getting rid of chat threads, you're kind of ignoring your community's needs. I mean, they kind of need that. Of course, they didn't care. It was quote-unquote spam, and so they closed both of them, despite a very large outcry from the general populace and whatnot. Yeah. What else? There was a third thing, but I was going to mention when I started recording this, but I forgot it. Let me see if I can remember. Yes. They ignore people. They always have. They probably always will. You see, every time they made some kind of huge decision, like, of course, getting rid of the chat threads or Power On RP, they would make a single thread for you to post and discuss your problems with their decision, which, of course, there's always going to be someone who has at least some problems, so